Glass is left to die after being brutally attacked by a bear. He lies helpless, forced to witness the heartbreaking murder of his son without the strength to intervene. With nothing left but a burning desire for vengeance, he begins a harrowing journey through the icy frontier. One night, to keep from freezing to death, he slips inside the body of a dead horse for warmth. Glass should not have survived, but something inside him refuses to give in. With every breath fueled by vengeance, he begins a harrowing fight back from the edge of death. Will he live long enough to get justice? The story unfolds in the year 1823, deep within the untamed wilderness. A group of 45 trappers is working in a thick forest, hunting animals and collecting pelts to trade. Among them is a skilled frontiersman named Glass and his teenage son, Hawk. Just as the routine of survival seems steady, chaos erupts. A sudden and violent ambush strikes. A Native American tribe attacks the group, believing the traders have taken the chief's daughter, who has gone missing. The result is devastating. Most of the group is slaughtered, and only 10 manage to escape. In a desperate bid to survive, the remaining men scramble onto a boat, drifting downriver to evade further assault. But the danger is far from behind them. The tribes know the terrain well and shadow the boat silently, waiting for the right moment to strike again. Under immense pressure, the group's leader turns to Glass for advice. Glass recommends abandoning the boat and continuing on foot through the forest, thinking it will give them a better chance to avoid detection. One of the men strongly objects. The land route is longer, far more dangerous, and could take weeks. Still, trusting Glass's instincts, the captain agrees to the risk. The men hide their valuable pelts under rocks and let the boat drift away to distract their pursuers. Their journey on foot is harsh and uncertain. Each step takes them deeper into a wild landscape ruled by winter and shadowed by enemies. They sleep under the trees at night, trying to stay warm and unnoticed. By the next morning, they confirm that their trick worked. The tribes found the boat but realized it was a decoy. Now aware that the men are traveling north, the tribes begin tracking them with renewed determination. The group keeps moving, cautious and worn out, with danger pressing in from all sides. One morning, Glass rises early, his instincts alert. He wanders into the forest with his rifle, sensing something is wrong. He comes across a pair of bear cubs, and before he can retreat, their mother charges. In a sudden blur of violence, the bear slams into him. His weapon is knocked from his hands. Slashed and bleeding, he hits the ground hard. The bear steps back briefly, and Glass tries to reach his gun, but the creature charges again. He fires, but the shot isn't enough to stop it. Desperate, Glass pulls out his knife, and in a brutal, close struggle, he manages to kill the bear, but not without paying a heavy price. His throat is torn, his body shredded with deep wounds. He lies under the weight of the bear, barely breathing. His fellow trappers soon find him and haul the massive bear off his crushed body. They do what they can to treat his injuries, but the situation is grim. With a broken leg and a torn neck, Glass seems unlikely to survive. Meanwhile, far away, the tribe uncovers the hidden animal skins and trades them for weapons and horses, becoming even more formidable. Knowing Glass can't walk, the group builds a stretcher and tries to carry him uphill, but the terrain is brutal and progress is slow. Eventually, the captain makes a difficult call. He tells the men that it may be kinder to end Glass's life. At that moment, Hawk steps in, pleading for his father's life. Moved by the boy's courage, the captain offers a deal. Anyone who stays behind with Glass will be paid $70 by the fur company. Hawk and a loyal young man agree without hesitation. Fitzgerald, a hardened trapper, offers to stay too, but only for $100. Eventually, all three remain with Glass, while the others continue their journey. Though his condition is dire, Glass refuses to die. Fitzgerald doubts he'll last more than a couple of days, but against all odds, Glass clings to life. One quiet evening, while the others are away, Fitz turns to the helpless Glass with cold frustration. He speaks bitterly, blaming Glass for the danger they're all in. In his eyes, keeping Glass alive is a risk they can't afford. He leans in and threatens to end it quickly, offering a cruel choice. If Glass blinks, he'll take it as permission to suffocate him, but Glass refuses to blink. Fitz ignores it anyway and begins to smother him, forcing his hand over Glass's face as he struggles silently. Just as Glass is on the edge of death, Hawk appears behind them. Seeing what's happening, the boy strikes Fitz with the butt of a rifle, knocking him back. Fitz quickly tries to justify himself, claiming he was only trying to protect them all. But Hawk isn't swayed. He points a weapon at him, trembling with rage. Before Hawk can act, Fitz lunges forward, grabs the weapon, and fatally stabs him with a knife. Glass, too weak to move, can only watch as his son dies before his eyes. Fitz then drags the body away and hides it behind a nearby slope. Soon after, Bridger, the younger companion, returns, but Glass is unable to speak, his throat too damaged to reveal the truth. That night, while the two men sleep, Glass lies in silence. By morning, Fitz wakes Bridger with urgent news. The tribes are close and closing in. Bridger panics and asks about Glass. Without emotion, Fitz drags Glass through the snow despite his muffled cries of pain. He dumps him into a shallow pit and starts piling dirt over him. Bridger is hesitant, but Fitz insists it's a mercy. Glass won't survive anyway. Reluctantly, Bridger walks away, leaving behind his water flask, still unaware that the threat was never real. Buried and barely breathing, Glass gathers what strength he has left. Once free, he crawls through the snow until he finds Hawk's hidden body. He lays across his son, mourning in silence. Days pass. Starving and in agony, he picks scraps from an old fish skeleton to survive. Even drinking water is excruciating, leaking through the gash in his neck. In desperation, he cauterizes the wound with gunpowder and flame, collapsing from the pain. Later, as he sleeps in the cold, he's jolted awake by the sight of fire nearby. He stumbles toward it and finds a man roasting meat beside a blaze. The stranger quickly raises a weapon, prepared to shoot, but Glass uses gestures to show he means no harm. Silently, he explains his suffering, the bear attack, the betrayal, the loss of his son. The stranger, too, has a haunting past. His family and village were destroyed in flames. That shared pain forms an unspoken bond. He offers Glass food and allows him to travel with him. With a horse between them, they continue forward through the frozen landscape. Elsewhere, Fitz and Bridger continue their journey. Along the way, Bridger begins to question everything. He realizes Fitz never told the truth about the tribes and only cared about saving himself. Though upset, Bridger allows himself to be persuaded to keep going. They pass through a deserted village, find 2 horses, and eventually reach a nearby outpost. There, the captain pays each man 100 as promised. Bridger refuses his share, burdened with guilt over abandoning Glass. Fitz pockets his payment and dismisses Bridger's guilt, calling him naive and soft. Meanwhile, Glass faces another harsh trial. A snowstorm strikes, and his health begins to collapse. Feverish and wounded, he loses consciousness. His companion, trying to save him, builds a shelter. But the next morning, Glass wakes alone. Not far from the hut, he discovers a grim sight. His companion has been hanged by the French. Glass moves on and stumbles upon a horrific scene. A woman is being assaulted by a Frenchman. He steps in, kills the man, and escapes. Soon, he is spotted by a group of native warriors. They chase him across the open terrain. With no other option, he rides toward a steep ravine and leaps with his horse. The animal dies on impact, but somehow, Glass survives the fall. To avoid freezing to death, he cuts open the horse's body, clears it out, and crawls inside for warmth, spending the night in its hollowed belly. By morning, he begins walking once again. Back at the outpost, a French survivor arrives seeking shelter. In exchange, he offers a little money and a bottle. It's a familiar bottle, the same one Bridger had left behind with Glass. Recognizing it instantly, Bridger asks the man, "Where did you find this?" The man tells him that he found the bottle 30 miles away, abandoned by someone on the run. Hearing this, Bridger and a few others set out, hoping to find Hawk. They still don't know that the boy is already dead, murdered by Fitz. Fitz begins to sense something disturbing. He realizes that Glass, the man he left for dead, may still be alive. Acting on the new clue, the captain, along with Bridger and several men, heads out to investigate the area where the bottle was discovered. To their shock, they find Glass alive. Bridger had genuinely believed he was dead. The captain, furious at being misled, immediately orders Bridger's arrest, suspecting him of betrayal. But Glass intervenes. He clears Bridger's name, explaining that Fitz had kept the truth from him as well. They all return to the fort, but Fitz is already gone. The captain searches the outpost and eventually reaches Fitz's quarters. There, he finds the safe broken open and all the money stolen. Now Fitz stands accused of theft and murder. The captain, filled with resolve, decides to track him down and bring him to justice. Glass volunteers to go with him, determined to finish what he started. They follow the trail left by Fitz's horse, riding deep into the wilderness. After a long ride, the tracks suddenly vanish. To cover more ground, they split up. While the captain searches one path, Fitz, hiding nearby, ambushes him. Holding a gun to the captain's head, Fitz refuses to surrender. A single gunshot echoes through the trees. Glass races toward the sound and finds the captain's lifeless body. Fitz has once again slipped away. Thinking fast, Glass places the captain's body upright on a horse, disguising it to look like he's still alive. He rides alongside on another horse, keeping his head low, hoping Fitz will fall for the illusion. And he does. Fitz fires a shot at what he believes is Glass. The body slumps off the saddle, revealing the captain's face. Realizing he's been tricked, Fitz steps forward, and that's when Glass strikes. He fires back, wounding Fitz in the shoulder. The two men clash violently, chasing and fighting until they reach the edge of a river. There, with both exhausted and bloodied, they face off one last time. As Glass prepares to finish it, he pauses. The words of the man who once saved his life echo in his mind. Revenge is in God's hands, not man's. Instead of killing Fitz himself, Glass lets the river carry him across to the other side, directly into the hands of the tribe. The same tribe whose daughter Glass had saved now stands across the riverbank. They do not harm Glass. Recognizing what he did for the girl, they leave him alone and deal with Fitz themselves. As the dust settles, Glass remains by the river, broken and battered. The journey is over, but the pain lingers. In that moment of stillness, he sees the vision of his wife, her spirit appearing before him, serene and silent. His eyes fill with tears as his breathing grows heavy. Alone in the snow, surrounded by silence, he stares into the distance. His battle is done. If you enjoyed this video and would love to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join our YouTube family. Your support means the world to us.